Hello everyone and welcome back to my Eruption of Shame. Special episode this week, though it's not exactly an unsurprising one. Obviously, we've still got the Humble Bundle and Amazon Roundup next week. However, for now, yesterday, the Jinglejam was launched finally, which is, as if you may remember from last year, a really good thing for people who want to get a bunch of games on Steam. Um, they're always filled with a lot of strange and different and weird games that you probably don't own, which, let's be honest, that's why I like it so much. However, we need to go through it. We need to look at it. We need to see if this is even worth you getting. I mean, personally, I think it's really great. But, so that's what we're doing this morning. Sorry it didn't come out any sooner. I've had a very busy last couple of days. Haven't had a chance to do very much until this point. And this weekend, I am recording a very special new series, which I'm very happy that I'm able to do because I wasn't able to do it last time I tried it. I'll be putting a teaser out, assuming I'm able to get the recording working this weekend. And I'll be putting that teaser out on the Eruption of Shame on Wednesday. So, yay, or Tuesday for the American people. Anyway, the point is that is coming. So is this. I've also got to keep playing Harvestella because there's a lot of episodes coming out, but I still haven't finished the game. So there are a few things I really need to do this weekend. So this is it's like, oh yes, of course the Jinglejam comes out now. All right, so we're going to start by looking at some data because I know that a lot of people don't necessarily have time to go through all of these games with me. There's a lot of them, an awful lot of these games. There's 10 more than last time, and a chance at another free game through Fanatical. Now, usually I don't like gambling. However, I'm usually okay with the free spins on this wheel. Just because of the simple fact that they often come free with a purchase, and it's not like you're going out of your. It wouldn't be very economical to go out of your way to purchase it. To purchase just for the wheel spin, so it's not really something that's very easily gambled on. So I'm okay with that, though I hate their mystery bundles. Anyway, point is, let's have a look at some data here. So, same as last year, though last year it didn't work out fantastically in general. I have gotten all of this lovely data on my sheet. So, basically, I just went in, I put all the games in, I put all the ratings in. Oops, sorry. I said if I owned it this year as well, so that was more for my own. That was more for my own purposes than anything else. But you get the idea. So these are all obviously Steam keys. Every single one of them is a Steam key. So just keep that in mind. There is a series of games that are overwhelmingly positive, though not many. 8, 45 very positive, 6 positive, 17 mostly positive, 4 mixed, and 4 NAs, which means they do not have a rating. Which is probably why they're included, especially if they're multiplayer, which a lot of them are. Because let's face it, they're probably hoping that this will bring on their communities, and I think that has happened in the past, in general. So it's not away from the bounds of possibility. However, it's actually versus last year. It's actually slightly more games and slightly more positive. So when I first looked at it, I was like, "Oh, I see a lot of games I already know." But then I was like, "Wait a second, there's a few good ones here." So I've already bought it, and I'm about halfway through claiming all the keys. It's gonna take a while. Let's just put it that way. It'll take you probably even longer because you may not have all the games that I do, which is normal. Anyway, last year's breakdown revealed that adventure and multiplayer. I think this was this. I think this was it. Yeah, I think this was it. And ooh, it could be the Ukraine bundle. Wait, let me check. What was this last? This was the last major bundle that came out, I'd imagine. I don't see thingy there. So yes, this was definitely last year's Jinglejam. So yeah, basically slightly less games, and it had a big emphasis on adventure and multiplayer. Now, obviously, this year it's a little bit better, but it should be said it was a little bit harder to get some of the genres out. A lot of things I put into strategy, even though there are probably a billion ways they could be done. Oops, speaking of strategy, this is not currently. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little bit of an error with the chart. I was missing out the last couple of entries, and then turns out that it wanted to crash on me, so I had to redo it all over again. So yay for annoyances like that. But as you can see, there's actually a fairly good selection of things. Now it should be said, strategy was a bit of a gimme round for me. I sort of put a lot of games in strategy just because I didn't want to add more genres. The fact of the matter is there were a lot of strategy adjacent titles there that probably would be in their own genres. There's a lot of variety in this bundle versus the old one. There are still a lot of multiplayer games, obviously, but there's also a high number of simulation, puzzle, and platformers, which is pretty good. There's a couple of games which just look hilarious and are hilarious. There's a few different interesting options out there. There's a couple that did come out in Epic before, so you may already own them, but a lot of people prefer to have Steam keys anyway, so it probably doesn't matter too much for them. But yeah, overall, I was pretty impressed in the end after I really broke down and looked at this bundle. At first I was a little bit underwhelmed, but then, yeah, well, turned around. It's also got a few games which I've actually played videos of, including, where was it? Well, Delta Rings of Saturn. Now, obviously, Delta V is free if you claim the demo, but it's nice to own it just in case that ever stops, which it may, you never know. So yeah, Delta V Rings of Saturn. That's a game that we played on the channel before. We've also got what was it? One of my favorite ones. What was it called? Fury Unleashed. That's right. I love Fury Unleashed when I played it, and it's also included in this bundle. I haven't checked if there's any real overlap between the two years, but quite frankly, yeah, that's probably not that big of a deal. You'll know if you own the game or not. You'll be able to do this similar chart, or at least you'll be able to list out and be like, oh, well, I can give this one to a friend. Once again, a lot of the games which you own multiples of, some of them are multiplayer, so it feels like that's actually perfectly reasonable because you can give it to a friend, at least in my opinion. Anyway, let's have a look at the actual Jinglejam itself. So what I've got is as usual, I have got all of the games up, ready to look at, and we're going to give each of them a few moments in the spotlight. Now, I know I last time I was asked to put timestamps in. No offense, but I can't really put 85 timestamps in, so I'm probably going to skip that for this video, but I did not ignore that bit of feedback and will do so for the rest of the Eruption of Shame. But seriously, 85 games. 85 games. Let's start with the first of the 85 games, Age of Wonders Planetfall. Now, this is a game I did own already, and I have played it before as well. It's basically a 4X game. Always a big fan of 4X games. This one's obviously, a Paradox one, so it might be a little bit, well, it's Paradox, but it has a fair number of DLCs. But you're getting a good game even in the base form. Even if you don't have the DLCs, that's okay. I would assume its trailer will be all right. Let's have a look at it, see if this trailer setup works. So yeah.
We have been warriors of the land and for the land. Today, we shape our future and the world around us.
We're home, boys. Things ain't what they were. It's time to assert a little planetary dominance.
I just really love 4X games, really.
We will reforest to expand and build a lasting peace.
We made half the universe our empire. This place should be a breeze. We are hardy, born of battle, vanguard.
Those
resolution isn't great. Sorry about that.
Join us on the journey.
Screw hearts and minds, guys. It's time for shock and awe. And we've got some beautiful new toys to develop and deploy.
We will attack from the shadows or overgrow rivals.
We own this place. Let's act like it. Let's make our presence felt.
So realistically, you probably, if you've ever played any 4X games, you know what this is like. It's essentially the video game equivalent of a board game. It's an empire management game, similar to Stellaris, etc., but turn-based. Little bit less in depth than Stellaris, obviously, but it'd still be a good time if you like that sort of stuff. Personally, I do like these games, and I'll play them. In fact, the only reason you guys haven't seen more 4Xs on my Mountain of Shame is because generally, if I have a 4X game, I will play it. Oh, let's look at the next one. Next one is Plate Up. Oh, it's starting. Okay. I was very skeptical when I saw this game. I was like, well, it looks like one of those everyday, you know, you have to get the people what they want management games where you're running around, don't have time to think, there's no progression, you sort of die so quickly, like, you know, the Overcooked or whatever it was called. But then I looked at it more, and I saw roguelite. Ooh. Now, having this sort of progression means that, well, you'll get better over time, which should help your runs. And as long as it does say it has a single player mode, but we'll see. I might need to hope that that Para also decides to buy the bundle. But I mean, it looks all right actually, surprisingly so. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, you suck at parking. Racing game. Yay, I guess. Just going around. It's apparently a parking simulator, but it doesn't really look like you're doing very much parking. So there's that. There are parking lots there, so maybe you do stop and start on there because that would be interesting if so. But yeah, you suck at parking. This feels like something that I'm surprised. Yeah, it's online PvP, and it makes kind of perfect sense. This would be the sort of thing which would be in this bundle, so fair enough. Ooh, now this is what I'm curious about, so I'm gonna watch the video and see what it's like. Delicious. Ooh, frog. I love it already. I love it already. I'm in. It's giving me Hat of Time vibes. And Paper Mario, but that's because it's 2D. Oh. I'm Streak's dog is the trench coat. I'm trench coat. Look, I'm in. That looks like a lot of fun. Oh dear, there are way too many animals in this game for there to be a romance system. That was a Frogagotchi. Okay, yeah, I'm in. That sounds fantastic. There's way too many animals in that game for there to be a romance system. But besides that, it doesn't look too bad, does it? Well, at least I say does it, as if you guys agree. In general, I don't know if you agree. Tell me if you agree. But honestly, this game looks adorable, and I'm right on board. Look at this Frogotchi. It looks fantastic. Ah! Okay. The next one is another game we've played on the channel before, and it's because when it was released, it was given out for free on Epic. So chances are you may already have this. if you noticed it was free on Epic. Um, I mean, I played it as well, and I didn't mind it. Like, I haven't went back and played it again, but as far as these Total War games go, I had a better time with this one than I was ever possibly expecting to have, and I probably will go back and play it again now I've got it on Steam. So, yeah. Next one.
Welcome to the ISS Alithia,
Okay, it's
the
got a trailer.
largest and safest spaceship ever built, where the Captain AI has unfortunately gone rogue. Follow your way to victory to shut down the AI, whose only goal is to kill all on board. Partner with fellow residents to survive. Be sure to dress to impress. Hello.
Hello.
Woo!
Good job, Harry.
Work with fellow residents and enjoy a glass of champagne on the way.
Drink some water.
But be wary of friendly faces.
Oh, it's not.
Okay. Common dangers may include slippery surfaces. Oh, Tiny, oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, help! Help!
Questionable installations.
Oh my God.
Loose wiring. Catching fire. They never told me fire would be this hot. The occasional homicide. Not okay. It's not okay.
Not like this.
Deduce, deceive, but most importantly, have fun and enjoy the chaos.
So basically, it's a higher fidelity Among Us crossed with the ship. I mean, if I was the sort of person to enjoy multiplayer deduction games, this actually really looks quite good. I'm not usually into it, but I gotta say, the aesthetic and the setting of this one makes me a little bit more intrigued than usual. Open world, exploration, single player, relaxing. Yeah, this is gonna be a good time, isn't it? Lost Nova. It's giving me Turnip Boy vibes. I'm pretty sure Turnip Boy is also included in this bundle, so oh god. Peace. Aw. I don't think I need to watch much more of this to know that I like it. So, yeah, it looks great. It always got farming sim elements, does it? I don't know. Maybe this is an area. It just looks fun. Oh, yeah, see, it really is giving me that sort of vibe. Honestly, this is a good pickup as well. So, yay. Factory Town. Let's just have a look at pictures of this one. We don't need to look at all. This one's an automation game. So, I guess it's another Satisfactory style game, which is, once again, incredibly fair. Who doesn't like a little bit of Satisfactory? As long as there's not limited technology, we should be fine. It says here, giant factory of 3D command, using conveyor belts, trains, chute, pipes, and airships. Sell your goods to nearby villages to expand their borders, increase their happiness, and unlock better technology. Ooh, is this going for the? It says expand their borders. Are we expanding the borders, or, and this could be better and is better, are they just going to naturally grow as we grow? Because I can't tell from those pictures. Because I very much like how Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, and obviously the original Transport Tycoon Deluxe, would have the towns like naturally grow around your actions. It felt like you were just being like a transport company. Sounds alright. Sneaky things would sound alright.
To travel through hyperspace. A race to other habitable planets in space has broken out among the big corporations. The voluntary pioneers and colonists are lured to this adventurous journey by the...
So this game, I'm not going to watch the whole trailer for because apparently there's a stream at the top, which is probably throwing off my my location for the streaming the video. Yeah, I guess it would work, sort of. No, okay, that would take a lot of fine tuning, which I don't have time for. Okay, but seriously, this is a game that I already owned. I'm pretty sure I bought it at some point, and I haven't played it yet. I've been meaning to, as with everything on my mountain. But it just looks fun. I love space and I love Spore. Although I do admit Spore had a lot going that needed. It really just looks like Spore in a lot of ways. It also gives me vibes of Universe Sim, which obviously is something I really want to come out. So yeah, pretty good pickup. Next one is Connector Tank, and this is one of the ones which currently, at the time of looking at, has not got enough reviews, despite being released a year ago. Now, the big problem is sometimes games, there's so many of them, sometimes games slip under the radar. And this is one reason I really quite like the Jinglejam. They seem to give out games that I've never heard of before. Like, I've never heard of this Connector Tank before. It looks like it's taking so many different elements. It's got a little bit of, like, time management. It's got a little bit of storytelling. It's got a little bit of, like, customization and design, and it's got a bunch of what appears to be like, I can't tell if it's board games or tower defense or what. I think it's a board game sort of layout. So yeah, it looks really quite fun. And so I'll be looking forward to playing this out, even if it may not be fantastic. I don't know. It hasn't been rated. Next one is Final Vendetta. Now, this one is fairly easy to tell exactly what it is the moment you look at it. It is a fighting game. Like that's it. It's a fighting game. It's a beat 'em up. If you like these sort of games, you'll probably be quite happy that there's another one. You may already own this, but once again, I've never heard of it before. And the fact this one is actually a 2022 release, that's another thing about the Jinglejam. They randomly give you a bunch of 2022 releases. Even if the game isn't well known, it's kind of crazy they'll give you out games that have been released in this year. And not even just a couple of them. Like, there are 9 games released this year in the bundle alone. So that's pretty impressive. Not entirely sure what this game is. So I do want to watch a trailer of this one. It's got that classic voxel, like Minecraft-like sort of, I'm going to try and generate Minecraft in a much higher fidelity sort of way. It looks like it's a puzzle game. Apparently it's incredibly difficult. And yeah, that probably means I'm gonna suck at it, but it looks pretty. Guess you're trying to let go, considering you're trying to consistently burn your own stuff, which is a little bit counterproductive. I hope it includes storyline about why you're burning your past, be it a narrator or something else that happens. I'd like to know why this guy hates everything of his past belongings. I want to give some sort of sob story. So it didn't seem to suggest there was much of a storyline here, but I really hope there is, because if there is, this could be quite a nice pickup. Now, this game, Kaiju Wars, not entirely sure what it is. It's another tactical strategy sort of game. So once again, another one that went under the banner of strategy, I believe. 2D turn-based strategy. Construct buildings, defend your city. Sounds good. Might take a little getting used to, but it sounds good. The next one is not one that was on my wish list, but it's probably one that I will like. A little bit close, very, like, yeah, overly animal related, but it's a live sim. It's got nice music. I mean, let's be honest, it's a life sim. I'm going to play it eventually. Like, I was going to get it eventually somehow. So it wasn't on my wish list though. Just, I don't know why, but yeah, it's a good pickup in that regards. Released 2021, not in early access, has a fudging metric ton of DLCs. What the heck? Okay, fair enough. I mean, it looks all right. Not necessarily my preferred, my preferred life sim because I always like to have romance, and once again, you can't really have romance in a game full of nothing but animals. So yay, I guess. All right, let's look at this one. Tenderfoot Tactics. Now, one I haven't really heard of before, but it says it's another tactical game, another tactical RPG. So why not? I suppose. It looks like it's got a very interesting low poly aesthetic. So that's an interesting one there. And we've also got Warhammer 40,000 Gladius. Now this is a game which I believe came out on Epic at some point or something. Or maybe it was Humble, because I know I have it, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, I suppose. If you don't have it, it's another 4X game. So 2 4X games already, and we're not even past the first lot of games yet. That being said, it's a very positively rated one. Warhammer is a little bit hit and miss when it comes to its games, but I think Gladius is meant to be one of the better ones. I always love the 40k universe much more than the fantasy universe, so I'll look forward to eventually playing this one. Yeah. All right, our next game is Absolute Drift, a racing game about drifting. So it looks fairly low poly, fairly like exactly what it says on the tin. Not really my sort of game, but you know, if you like this sort of stuff, I reckon this is the sort of thing which would have made a nice flash game or a good game to play at school on the school computers. Maybe not what I'm really wanting. Physics difficulty. Okay, sure, okay. And then we have a Warhammer. Then we have the other side of the coin. Remember how I said that some Warhammer games are great, and other Warhammer games just aren't. Yeah, this one is probably one that isn't. I haven't played it, obviously, but the fact it came out in 2020, it's a Warhammer game and only has mixed reviews, not the best sign. Not the best sign at all. So, yeah, pretty much anyone can make a Warhammer game. There's very little, janky and balked. Abandoned, left unfinished. Yeah, this one's really in real bad ones, yeah. So, this shows you the other side of the coin. Is it bad we picked it up? No, because then you won't have to buy it and you got it on your game list, whatever. But it's definitely a throwaway title. It's not one of the highlights of this bundle. Then we got Ancient Enemy, which is once again I say once again, but this is the first one we've seen in this pack. It's not the first one we've seen on Eruption and Shame before because we see so many card-based roguelike games. This one seems less like roguelike and more solitaire, literal solitaire. I'm on board with that. Yeah, because these are like, yeah, layouts of like Spider Solitaire. That's interesting. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. It wasn't on my wish list or anything. I remember it popping it up at some point. I mean, it's only a relatively recent game. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, why not? Then we got Aporia, Beyond the Vault. Rich, unique, emotional. I mean, it just looks like one of those The Witness style atmospheric games. It does unfortunately say horror though, so. Ooh, I love the music. Yeah, there's a lot of these mislikes out recently, and quite frankly, yeah, it looks alright. Like, I know it says horror there, but I think it looks fairly good. Don't want to look into too much and see too many spoilers, but That's the other thing. I don't want to watch all these videos unless I played the game, just because I don't want spoilers. But yeah, no, that looks interesting. It's not a game I'd ever purchase, so it's probably the best sort of pickup for a bundle like this. Now, this one appears to be a Metroidvania platformer. I'm guessing that means it's going to be super hard, which is fun, I guess. Very low poly. Very low poly. Not my sort of game, but I always file with the ATO. So I'll have to play this one at some point too, I guess. And here we see a prime example of a game I probably will never play. I hate bothering people when I need to get people to play. I do have enough friends for it easily, but like, especially if they all buy the Jinglejam, which they may do. It's a good bundle. Hey, look, it looks interesting, but I'll probably never play it, so that's fine. Chaos Reborn. Now, this game is another turn-based strategy. It's not quite a 4X, so I didn't put it in the 4X category, but it's definitely just another turn-based strategy, which, quite frankly, I am okay with. I love this sort of stuff. Once again, I didn't own the game beforehand, but, you know, it exists. 2015, a little bit older than some of the other titles in the game, but I'm okay. That's a good pickup. Okay, so this is a really interesting one. Not the game itself. The game itself is pretty interesting. But when I saw this sock logo in the corner, I was wondering, what the heck does that even mean? And it's got, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it has a little page that you can link to. And it says, basically, that they are trying to make a new game every month. And you can subscribe for $3. Now, it has changed in that apparently nowadays they're not trying to make a new game every single month, but it does seem like these are basically a group of people who have just been releasing game after game after game. And the idea is, it's giving me very much like Ludum Dare, Game Jam sort of vibes, where they're all very small, like hour-long experiences that are meant to just be enjoyed. I have no opinion on them just now, but there's a lot of these in the bundle, which, yes, is very much pumping up the numbers, but, you know, that's kind of acceptable under these circumstances. They're unique games that we otherwise probably wouldn't have purchased. As for this one specifically, it's a massively multiplayer game, so it might be best to play this one pretty quickly. I don't know how long-term a 1 hour long MMO is going to have, because I assume this would also be that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens and if it's going to be even playable in a few years. The rest of them are all single player, which is good in my opinion, but yeah. So let's watch this.
ある日自分たちのテレビスタジオを制作しようと考えた。これが君のストーリーの始まりである。インディー戦隊クロマスクワット。
So, yeah, Chroma Squad. This is a game I backed on Kickstarter, and I love it. I really do. It's a fantastic time. You have to play this. This is a beautiful pickup. It should be one of the headliners of the title, honestly. I love Chroma Squad. It does everything right. It's obviously tactical. It's got a little bit of management in there as well, and it's just fun. And the best thing about it is it's so tongue-in-cheek. about about the genre. It's like so good. And also, you'll see the one that says inspired by Seban's Power Rangers. Yeah, they got sued, I think, or very close, like threatened, because yes, Chroma Squad was very much like inspired by Power Rangers, as you can tell by their amazing live action trailer there. Honestly, they had they've done a lot of good stuff. Like the pen and paper series is fantastic, but apart from that, they've also had another Kickstarter just recently for Mahu's Cosplay Club. I backed it as well. I know, shocking. I keep backing games that I love. And unfortunately, it failed its first Kickstarter. I believe they had a second Kickstarter, and I backed that as well. And it finally made it through. We'll see. I trust them implicitly. I think they can do a very good job. They're a very good company. They're a very good group. I've never heard anything bad about Behold. I can recommend this game wholeheartedly. Obviously, play it before it came out on the channel, but it's a good game. All right, now this is one I don't know. Apparently, it's overwhelmingly positive, so that's good. It is single player, thankfully, and it just looks like a bunch of mess. I like it. I like the idea of it. I want to play it, and I will probably play it at one point. Now it's on my mountain. Looks very crazy, very chaotic, and very much what I want. Okay. You probably see the art style of Chuchel, and if you know the people who make this, you know what this game is. I played like one of them on the channel, one of the older games, and I really want to love these games, but I've never found the mass appeal. What they are good for is they're really good for kids. Just clicking and just having things happen. They're a great exploratory thing. They're very, very minor puzzles in the sense that you've got to try and work out what to click to continue on. They're usually nice or interesting storylines. Chuchel especially, I've seen some YouTubers play it. It looks pretty good. I don't really care about these sort of games. However, I'm happy enough to have it on my mountain. Now, this game is a physics-based climbing game, ragdolling, and quite frankly, I will suck at it in every sense. So when I finally get this one, I will cry. But you might like it. Personally, not for me.
Looked out the window at your town and thought, I can do better. Well, now you can! Hi, I'm Rick Selfridge, the mayor of Caribou City. Against all odds and advice, I single-handedly transformed this city from a remote, lazy backwater village into the sprawling, industrial powerhouse it is today. Come, stay at the cheapest hotels in the country. Take that, San Francisco. Walk down the busiest streets in America. Take that, New York. Like beaches? Me neither. Caribou City has no beaches. Visit your favorite celebrities at the world-famous Sunnyvale Rehab Clinic. Ride the world's most dangerous roller coaster. You can't put a price on fun, and our healthcare system is free. Healthcare not free. Through no fault of my own, Caribou City is bankrupt. City Hall is now looking for interns, or people who will work for free. Are you a misfit, unemployed, a drunkard, slightly insane, or some kind of young person? Do you lack experience, but have some kind of vague passion to make things right? Me too! Come and work for the Caribou City government. Come help your mayor score points with his voters. Or prove yourself against other citizens picked off the street in my new competitive city planning program. Together, we can probably make a difference. Welcome to the concrete jungle.
Yeah, you can likely see exactly what this is. It is a city builder, but it is very much a city builder, like time trial score game. Like you're going through trying to get the highest score possible by getting different combos and stuff like that. It looks really familiar. I don't know if I played this or something very similar to it. Did I own it? That's the next question I have. Concrete Jungle. I did not own it, but that doesn't mean anything. But anyway, it looks interesting. I'm interested in checking to see if I actually have played it. Maybe I have it on another platform. And maybe giving it a go now I've got it on Steam as well. Next one is Crazy Machines, and you probably remember this from when you were a kid as the Impossible Incredible Machine. This is obviously sort of a reimagining of that, and yeah, fair enough. Basically, you design a series of weird uh, physics-based fun things, and sort of see what happens. I've never really gotten into them too much, but you never know. Maybe it'll work out. Realistically, it's an okay pickup. As you can see there, the price is down 90% at the moment, but that's okay. Even good games go really cheap sometimes, so fair enough. Next one is Cryrofall, and this is another game I own but haven't played yet. So yeah. Sci-fi colony simulator. That sounds like my sort of game, really. Survive, craft, and build with other players. Less so. Okay, so looks like multiplayer RimWorld. I think, does RimWorld have multiplayer? I forget. Looks very similar to RimWorld or Prison Architect. Once again, not a bad pickup if you don't already own it. If it is co-op and multiplayer, it doesn't really matter if you do. You can give it to a friend and they'll hopefully be able to join you, which is good. I've got a friend who I gave my extra copy to, so I'll probably play with them for this one. But yeah. Danger Scavenger, fast-paced action cyberpunk themed roguelike skyline crawler. I have no idea what it is, but it looks fantastic. The aesthetic looks fantastic. Everything about it looks fantastic. Honestly, I guess we should watch some of the trailer, I suppose. Yeah, let's find out if it's any good.
Scavengers pose real danger. Take caution, they are listening.
Activate robots. Alert, 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 alert.
Honestly, that just looks great. I'm in. I guess there's no question there that is the sort of game I am very happy to receive. So there's that.
Dark Knights.
With Pearl and Monroe.
Yeah, this is an FMV game. Sorry, full motion video game. These things are very weird. I've played a couple of them on the channel already. We'll see how this one goes. I don't think that watching the trailer is going to help us much because we kind of know exactly what this will be anyway. It'll be a series of video clips where we get to make different choices as to what we want to see next. Yeah, fair enough. I hope it isn't horror. Ooh, that's a couple of these pictures looking slightly horror-y. It is a mystery, so it could be horror. All right, well, we'll see. Next one is Demolish and Build 2018. I did play a demolishing game, a VR game that I recorded terribly, and I had a great time for Wrecking Ball. So, quite frankly, although this is a little bit old now, I wasn't unhappy to see it on the list. I definitely have no problems with getting this game, though. Next one is Deponia, and let's watch the trailer for this one.
It's kind of pathetic, you get all erratic about dirty dishes congesting the sink. I'm tired of your bothers, remember our fathers. They dwelled in a world filled with rubbish and stink. But when all hope was lost, someone raised from the dust. He was handsome and cunning, his haircut had style. Courage was shining in his eyes as he said, screw you guys, mind your own business, I'm off now, goodbye.
That wasn't the whole story, was it?
I think it's going to be a trilogy. And that's exactly what you can now get in a single set. Rufus scrapes a living on the junk planet Deponia
Ah, terrific. The rotten smell from Sector 9 isn't so disgusting today.
Yet when Goal and Elysian appears, everything changes.
We need to go back to Elysium.
Together, Rufus and Goal try to escape from Deponia.
Here we go. I will use my amazing resemblance to Cletus to sneak on board, together with Goal.
Experience the most ludicrous story ever in its full length.
What good is the fastest vessel if we don't even know where our target is?
And get all 3 parts in one set for the very first time. Also, look forward to a whole bunch of bonus material, including new songs from Pokey and loads of developer commentaries.
And here we are on the front of Tony's home. I can comment a bit on the visuals.
I promised Goal I would never throw axes at her again.
Help me!
Hang on.
Oh, what have I done?
Deponia, the complete journey.
Now, you can probably tell already what sort of game this is. This is a point-and-click adventure game, and it's very much in the era and style, well, not era, but the style of Curse of Monkey Island, which is my favorite of the Monkey Island games. Is purely based on the level of technology and animation versus the gameplay. Like, I think that it's a really good era of adventure games. Often people go really back to the like pixely games, or they go forward and they go like all 3D for some reason. This is a perfect combination. I love any point and click adventure that does this sort of level. And the fact they hired the Kurzgesagt narrator to do the trailer is like golden bonus. Honestly, this game is crazy and I love it to bits. I loved playing all 3 parts, especially since that music goes throughout the whole thing. It's great. There's so many like musical tracks that come on, and I love those sort of things as well. It's a very good game. Should be said, they did release as well Deponia Doomsday, which won't be included in this complete edition, as you could probably guess. I haven't played this yet, so I probably will pick it out of my mountain at some point, because I do definitely own it. So we'll see how that goes. But the base games are probably much better, in my opinion, at least based on what I've heard of the next one. The next one's apparently a little bit weird, which is fine. The whole thing is weird, but weird in a way that doesn't really mesh as well. However, it looks like it's led to fairly good reviews as well, so why not, I guess. Next one is Desolate, first-person horror survival experience. I'm not going to talk very much about this one, because why would I? I don't like horror, and it's mixed. Like, not just mix, it's mixed. It's like not just like it's been good recently. No, it's mixed. I always chose the rating which was most representative in that Excel sheet. And quite frankly, if something is mixed after being released in for like 4 years, it's a little bit of a concern. So, yeah, I don't really care too much about Desolate. Next one is Discolored, a very positive point-and-click puzzle game and hidden object, apparently. Hey, it sounds fun, especially if it's got some sort of narration or storyline. I don't know if it will. I am all on board with playing this game. Sounds fun, not too expensive. A lot of the games in this bundle aren't that expensive, but altogether they come to a good bundle. Now, this one is very similar to an old DOS game that's came out. It's been given out a few times now, and I believe came out humble. It's been really cheap for sale. Yeah, this game is fun. It's like I forget what the game was called. But essentially you've got an island, you build on the island, and then you have to try and build bridges to connect up other islands when you're ready. And you can sort of expand, and your opponent will be doing the same thing, and then eventually you meet in the middle and fight. So yeah. It's fun, it's interesting. I still need to go back and play more of it. I played a little bit of the early game. I had some fun, but I need to go back and play some more. So you never know. Didn't remember what platform I played it on. This one looks great. Looks great.
Stop ruining the game! Can I have a different player? Anyone? Welcome, player! Let me tell you about the game. Don't mind the footage. This person clearly doesn't know how to play. The main objective of the game is to solve puzzles correctly. Exactly opposite of what this player does. with almost 100 puzzles. Oh, stop it, play nice. And I'll be watching you. I'll be commenting your every move. I'll be there. Oh! And we have so many packs to unlock, so many cups to collect. You just need to play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought this game when I first saw it. I haven't played it yet, but I had to. Like, it looks amazing. I want to hear this guy break. I sort of feel like it's almost a shame in general that we have to watch the trailer to know how, like, I feel like even watching the trailer is probably a bit of it's probably a bit too much of a spoiler for me. Like, I don't even think I've watched that trailer before. I think I just looked at these pictures and I was like, this looks fantastic. It's narrated. It's just like you keep on pissing him off. Oh, it's fantastic. Now, Epic Battle Fantasy V. Should be said, I honestly thought I already owned this game. And that's because you probably do own Epic Battle Fantasy IV. You may or may not remember the Epic Battle Fantasy series from Flash games as a kid. They then released Epic Battle Fantasy IV on PC. I believe they may have released the back catalog as well now, but I don't remember. And this one is apparently a new one, well, new-ish. It's 2018. Another one. Now, the interesting thing about this game is, yeah, it's sort of like a bit of a big joke, but at the same time, it's actually fairly competent. Now, obviously, I haven't played this one, but I have played a few hours of Epic Battle Fantasy IV and had a fairly good time with it. So, yeah. I'm not opposed to having Epic Battle Fantasy V in my list. I wouldn't say no to playing more of it. It seems like a pretty good time. So, yeah. That's a good one. Overwhelmingly positive. Never a bad thing. Though it should be said, this one is probably overwhelmingly positive because it has a very, very active and vocal fan base. Very active, very vocal. So, yeah. All right, here we go again. We have a puzzle platformer. There seems to be a fair number of these in the list, but we haven't gotten to many of them yet. This one says it's story rich, which honestly, that's good because these sort of games can be really, really good or really, really bad, but all I know is I'm terrible at them even if they are good. So I really need something to keep me going. And if the storyline is good, that'll keep me going. I've played many of these games to completion despite the fact I suck at most of them. So, yeah. Pretty nice. Very nice. Not opposed to this as a pickup at all. Pretty decent one to have, really. Now, Fit for a King. This one seems weird and interesting. It seems like a very low poly sort of RPG game. Well, very, very low poly. It looks like what's it called? Exile? Even old in Exile, technically. It just looks really, really old. That was released in 2019. It's obviously a little bit satirical. Why not? I'll play it. This is another one of those Socko Pop Collective games. But once again, it doesn't look bad. Like you'd think, game every month, they might be shovelware. A lot of these games look like they'd actually be good for an hour of play. So yeah, fair enough. Oh boy.
Those were the days of my glory. I was chain-killing monsters, exterminating bosses, saving the world. All of that thanks to my creator. And now he is losing his faith in me. I have to find out why and prove him wrong. I will fall,
but also rise again. Stronger every time. I will adapt to the world changing around me.
No enemy will stand in my way when I'll unleash my fury.
Yeah, so this game I have played before. I picked it up on my mountain and I loved it. You can go back and watch that video if you'd like. It was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed making the video. I enjoyed everything about it. I went back and played it more and more and more. Recently, it's changed from just having local co-op to online co-op. So it's even better now than ever to pick up and have copies of Fury Unleashed. So yeah, it's a great game. Basically, it's really fast paced. And basically you got to keep on moving, keep on killing, because you've got a combo meter. And the combo meter is the primary focus of this game when it comes to, pretty much everything. When you get your combo meter up high, you do more damage, more things happen, more explosions happen, you get more power. But also, the music gets more and more badass. So, like, the longer you can keep your combo going, the better it is. And I love it. I love everything that uses music like that. So fantastic. It has got several stages. Yeah, I should say though, the basic progression does run out relatively quickly, in my opinion. I did not take very long to unlock most of what I needed from the regular progression tree. However, there are still some other things like weapons, which are a little bit harder to get. But yeah, I do wish that the upgrade tree was a little bit longer. But really interesting in terms of the aesthetic. Obviously got a little bit of Duke Nukem feeling in there. Obviously the whole like random cutouts. This is fun. It's a fun game, okay? Definitely a good pickup for this. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Now, this one is weird. It says it's free to play, but apparently we get it in this bundle. So I assume what we get is the deluxe edition, which, I mean, let's see, extra content. There's a full single player survival mode. Okay, well, fair enough. Okay, well, if it contains a full single player mode, fair enough. That's okay. But in general, I was a little bit skeptical about this one, let's be honest. Fast-paced first-person roguelike. I'm in. It's got a really weird aesthetic, but I always like roguelikes, so fair enough. And what I don't like is horror games, so I don't even want to watch this if it's a horror game. Yeah, so goddamn. At least it's pretty low fidelity, so I should do okay with it when I finally reach it down my mountain, but I'm not going to be rushing towards it. I don't like any horror games. But you might, so you might enjoy this. Now, next to quote-unquote games aren't actually games. Okay. Next to games, quote-unquote, aren't games. And they say 85 games. I think it's like 84 games total. And one of them is free to play. So it's like, okay. They do sometimes add other games throughout the period. In fact, if that happens, make sure to check out. If you keep watching my make sure to keep watching my what's his face page, my community tab. I'll be posting anything that changes as I notice them myself. But yeah, so it comes with 2 different champion packs. This is an idle game. It's exactly what you'd expect. So you've got 2 of these. They usually sell for a fair amount of money. If you like this idle game, then sure, it's fine. I often find licensed and like big name idle games to be a little bit soulless and like very money focused. I don't know if that's the case for this one, but color me skeptical and probably not caring. All right, Jars, strategy game featuring puzzles and elements of tower defense. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I'd play it. Yeah, why not? $17, go for it. All right, Kill Run. It's a speed running game. Apparently, you also kill things at the same time, but it's a parkour game. I will suck at this game. However, yeah, I wouldn't have bought it. It's pretty cheap. Yeah, whatever. It's a good throw-in for this game. Kingpins, a small-scale real-time strategy game. Once again, another Socko Collective game, which would have been sold for $3 on their Patreon. once again, it doesn't look bad, does it? But I mean, there's not much to say, is there? All right, so this game. Let's just watch the video. In Little Inferno, you burn things. Like that's the whole game. It's you burn things. And you might have noticed it looks very much like a casual game in that basically you got timers and you've got to earn credits and you got to buy stuff again, timers and blah blah blah. It's satirical basically. It's like, yeah, it's a satirical view at these sort of casual games. It's not the waiting periods never get that long. You're fine. The game itself is charming, beautiful, and has this amazingly interesting post-apocalyptic, or well, during apocalyptic storyline, which is really fun and poignant, etc. Now, this is a really old game, and I would imagine most people already own it, especially since they've sold it for like 99 cents at certain times. I believe it's been included in many bundles before. The reason they're probably giving this out now is because they just released a brand new DLC, this one here called Ho Ho Holiday. I'll probably get it eventually. At the moment, I don't really care unless it continues the main storyline. Maybe I'll pick it up. Like, it feels like this is, if you've never played Little Inferno before and you want to pick up Little Inferno Ho Ho Holiday at the same time, I would not blame you in one bit. Just because it would make more sense to play them together. But yeah, no, burn more things. The idea is you don't just burn things. There is more to it. Like, you actually have to unlock combos. You have a series of hints which help you decide what things you can burn together to get rewards and unlock new things and unlock new books to burn more things. It is what it is. It's a good game though. It is definitely worth its overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. So there's that. Now we're getting to the butt end of these games now. Not to say that the game's getting any worse, but we're definitely nearing the end now. So I've been trying to make this as quick as possible, and I'll continue to do so. But yeah, let's just keep going. Lucifer Within Us. It says it's an investigation detective game. Also seems to have some horror elements as well. Really interesting aesthetic. I'm happy enough to have it on the pile as long as it doesn't end up being an actual full-on horror game. It looks very much like something. Yeah, no hidden plot twists, no QTEs, no random puzzle mini games. Just you find that information in all three cases. So yeah, it looks good. It looks fun. So why not? I mean, we don't need random puzzles every 5 seconds. So yeah, fair enough. Speaking of random, no, I'm kidding. I don't think this one's random puzzles every 5 seconds. This one also gives me horror vibes. I'm not gonna lie. I already own this game, which means you may too. I don't know where I got it, but still, yeah, it's an escape room.
Our memory is like this cube.
Yeah, it feels interesting. It feels like something I'd want to try out as long as it isn't that scary. That doesn't look as that scary. It just looks kind of crazy. Anyway, point is, it looks interesting. It does have a sequel. So there's that. But apart from that, this 2020 game is just fair enough. Okay. Like, why not? It's got an Hours logo. That's always a positive. Main and Spell. This is one I don't know literally anything about. It says it's a bullet hell. I do like bullet hells. Probably prefer rhythm games a little bit more, but bullet hells can be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll take it. Orbo Universe. Now this one gives me massive vibes or ideas of democracy, and I love the democracy series, but it feels like this one's apparently meant to be guiding a civilization. So it's giving me a bit of idle game vibes in a lot of ways too. I'm not sure what this game will be like, but it honestly looks like it could be pretty damn fun. So yeah, why not, right? Why not? Moon Hunters. I own this game. I haven't played it yet. It looks very much like Moonlighter, but it is a different game. I'm definitely gonna go and play this at some point. It looks fantastic. What else can I really say? It's got a beautiful aesthetic. It's just really nice. Now, this is another one which it's a weird one to include because, like, I'm pretty sure this has been in multiple bundles. I'm pretty sure it's been everywhere. Like, I already owned it, and most of my friends already owned it. It feels like they just throw this in just because. I have vague recollections it could have even been in either the Ukraine bundle or the previous Humble. And I'm not sure why. It's not like it's overly dead, but it's also not overly popular. Like, it feels like a really weird choice, but okay. Sure. Also, Men of War, Assault Squad 2. Whereas next is Men of War 2, Assault Squad, or Men of War, Assault 2 Squad. Like, it's not even clear how to read it. That one's literally says Men of War 2. Whereas this one's Men of War, and now it has 2 at the... It just... Don't open Dead Inside. Like, or is anyway. Look, this is another simulation game. It's mixed.
How hard it was to find this place? Your competitors were not as lucky as you are.
Yeah, I have no idea if this will be good or bad. It says it's mixed, which isn't a great sign, but I do like mechs. I do like sci-fi. We'll see how much this actually offers the person. If they do have the talking mech the whole game, I could see that being fun, just because I do like narration, but yeah. Paperball looks very much like another one of those Flash games, or even one of those 3D like Shockwave or games you'd find. Like it gives me memories of like the active 3D games on Neopets, and I'm not sure entirely why. Why not, right? Like, it looks interesting enough. It's not too expensive. Fair enough. Paradise Lost, another game I already owned. Currently mixed, but it has been mostly positive. I don't know what's causing it to currently be mixed. Let's find out. Unoptimized. Stuck and have to restart. Reasonable context. Story is intriguing. Walking is very slow. Okay, just looks like it's just like the people who are playing it now are like not necessarily the primary target market. A lot of these walking simulators are really slow. It looks interesting enough. I'll give it that. Pendragon, you know, another turn-based strategy. We've got so many of them in this bundle. That's what I mean. That's why strategy is the highest. Like, I could have broken it down to turn-based strategy, real-time strategy, and obviously already had 4X, which is more strategy. But yeah, at a certain point, you just gotta give it up. And obviously Plague Inc., another game most people will probably already have. Very positive game, teetering on overwhelmingly positive at the moment. it's very similar to the old Pandemic 2 game or whatever it was on Flash game. They made it, and at first I always thought this was a little bit of a cash grab in general, but no, they've done a really good job with this. Not only do they have an active amount of not only do they have an active amount of patching even now, yeah, they've also got literally they have one DLC and nothing else. The rest of the content that's been given out has been given out for free. So like since the game has launched, it has released scenario after scenario after scenario of stuff that you can do, right? Like this is an amazing value proposition for the type of game it is. This is pretty much the perfect. Sorry, I just realized that. This is pretty much the perfect game of its genre. And that's saying a lot. I know that this genre isn't exactly the world's largest in the world, but it's pretty damn good. Just saying. All right, well, this just looks adorable. Like, look at it. Look at the duck. Look at the duck. This is Pocket Watch. It's another one of those Soccer Pop collection. I did say there was a lot of them, and there's a lot more of them in general. I mean, look at this. Soccer Pop collection. 314 Australian dollars for everything they've ever released. Look at it all. Okay, granted, some of them are larger, but like so many. Like it's probably and the big thing is like you'd usually look at this many games on sorry, you'd usually this many games on Steam and think they were like just turning out trash, but it really feels like they're not based on what I can see. Most of the games in this list, most of them at least, are relatively positive reviews from what I can tell. Yeah, some of them apparently aren't. Maybe they only gave out the good ones. But yeah. Like, is it bad that I know they'll probably give out more next year, but I'm kind of tempted to even subscribe to them. Like, it's really not a bad concept that they keep on releasing new, interesting games. And yeah, not all of them will hit. Not all of them apparently get played, based on that one only having one review. But, it's an interesting idea, and I'm not sure I dislike it that much. But, it'll depend. I'll obviously have to wait and play some of these games and get them on my mountain before I start thinking about buying them. By the time I do so, it'll probably be up to $500 for the bundle, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, 3 to 4 hours of playtime. I mean, for $3, that's perfectly reasonable. Yeah, Popo's Tower, 3D platformer. I would suck at this one, but that's okay. I don't need to play it if I don't want to play it. Actually, I do need to play it. That's the whole point of the channel. I play whatever I roll. Okay, I won't need to play it until I roll it. So, there's that. Primal Light, another platformer. Pixel game, nothing too crazy here. The art looks very exactly what you'd expect, which granted isn't exactly a glowing review, but it's also not an indictment, so fair enough. Pyramedia. Now, this is one of the games I saw in their little trailer, and I was like, ooh, that actually looks quite good. I do like building villages. So, yeah. Once again, though, it'll be very short, so I'm guessing there isn't very much you can do. So, yeah, 4 hours of playtime, so fair enough. Seals of the Bygone. Class-based survival roguelike. Yeah. I mean, once again, a lot of these games at this point, like, obviously we're reaching the end of the game list, so we've been at this for a while, but looks pretty. It's a roguelike. Early access is a little bit of a problem, but still very positive despite being in early access for 2 years, so yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're still updating, though a little bit slow. Since July was the last update. Doesn't seem to matter to most people, though, so that's a good sign. Alright, Sock Worlds. This one doesn't seem like much of a game. It feels like more of a, like, you're making a collage. Like, creating just weird shit. So, fair enough. I see nothing wrong with this. Now, Space Crew is a game that a friend of mine played and showed me, and it looks really good. I will play it eventually, I'm sure. But a friend of mine really loves this game, and I can see why. He streamed it to me a lot. It actually does look like an awfully good time. So I know it's at the end of the list, but this is also a pretty good pickup in this game, in this title, in this bundle. Sunlight, another walking simulator. I'm actually okay with walking simulators. Sometimes they bug me. Other times, yeah, it depends. It says 30 minutes, but if the music's nice enough and the storyline's good enough, then I'll play it. I'll enjoy it. Like, some of these experiences can be great. Swords and magic and stuff. I have no idea what this is. It says single player co-op early access medieval. It looks pretty good off the bat. So yeah, I realistically probably an option. It's got this very common style that a lot of games these days have, but once again, if it's been in early access for 2 years and is still very positive, that is actually a really good thing. Like, because it means that they're still working on it actively and people are still happy. It's grand more game of a service model at that point, but yeah. Granted, I try and avoid early access games, but I'll get them if they're free. Tanuki Sunset. I mean, you're a raccoon that goes on a skateboard, like in like an 80s style world. This just looks charming and lovely, and I want to play it. Yes. The Dungeon Beneath, a tactical roguelike auto battler. Gather your party and ascend into the dungeon. There. I mean, looks good. Turn-based tactics, another one. There's a lot of them. But apart from that, not a bad pickup. Galactic Junkers. I have no idea what this game is. Let's watch the trailer.
Doing the log myself as the captain seems to not grasp how the software works. It has been so long since the destruction of Earth. How long I am not sure. There has been so much going on. There was the firefight with the pirate ship. The time we boarded the Union ship. The fire. The time the aliens boarded our ship. The other fire. The derelict. That time they hid from Union soldiers in a bed. The mining incident. Hiring some new crew and upgrading the ship. Another fire. And the time we lost some crew to an accidental opening of the airlock. Come to think of it, I think that all took place yesterday. Despite that, I guess they are showing some promise. Especially when it comes to dispatching pirates. I just hope Mickey Pancakes is as forgiving of their quirks. If you do receive this message, the Galactic Junkers could really use some help.
I mean, I have no idea what it is. It's released in 2022. It's apparently single player. I've never heard of this game before. It's only got 8 user reviews. But I'm kind of thinking this could be a fun one. Right? Like, it looks good. Surprisingly so. Like, good for them, really. Honestly. It says it's very buggy. Hopefully they fix that, because otherwise they are not going to have a very nice thing when more people start to rate it from the Jinglejam. So I hope they have definitely put a bit more work into it if that's the case. The Hex, yep, story-driven, single player, yeah, crazy mystery 2D stuff. It looks really crazy. I have not played it. I did own it, however, so it's been on my mountain for a while. I'm sure I will play it at some point. Not sure why it's got all these soundtrack DLCs, but okay. It just looks a bit crazy. Honestly, this stage you don't get too many good games at the very, very end. Turing Test, I mean, why not? It's a first-person puzzle game. Another game trying to be a Portal, I suppose, but I'll take it. Now, this is a good game. It's a little bit cheap and definitely is very basic. Like, don't go in this expecting the world. But what you can expect is a pretty hilarious, like, cute little tiny story that just throws all sorts of random stuff at you. It is a collectathon. It has got a bunch of really weird abstract quests and storylines. It's fun. It's fun and weird and kind of tongue in cheek, like very tongue in cheek. It's lovely. They're probably releasing because they've got the sequel, Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, upcoming. So makes sense to give it away in the Jinglejam. So there's that. Then we've got Ilgilo, another game released in 2022. Another game with very few user reviews. Honestly, this one feels like it's earned its very little acclaim more. It doesn't look that interesting. Precision platformers, though, are very much an acquired taste. Not everyone likes the difficulty. I know I personally do not like the difficulty of these sort of games, so that would be a no for me. That actually looks really good. So yeah, another game's been in early access for multiple years. It's still very positive. Once again, good sign. At first it was giving me Jazz Jackrabbit or Mario or something like that vibes. But the more I watched that video, it looked like it did so much more. I do like the idea of this live level editor. Oh, live. I don't know if it's live, but this level editor where you can literally play the game and then sort of make the changes as you need them. That sounds really fun. You see, I think got a little bit of Commander Keen influence there by the looks of it. This is interesting. I definitely want to have on my radar, and now it's in my my mountain. It feels like there's only a matter of time until I end up playing it. So fascinating. Hey, looks good. We've only got a few games left now. Visceral Cleanup Detail. This is a game that started off as a bit of a joke. It was made as a kind of a joke as far as I know. Like the idea of, oh yeah, they've came through here and they've killed everyone. Now it's your time to clean up. I played a few of these little games since. Like obviously I played Serial Cleaner and a few other things like that. I have played the demo of this years and years and years ago at this point. In fact, before it was even on Steam, I'm pretty sure it had a non-Steam version you could download, and that's probably what I last played it. It is what it is. It is very well beloved. I didn't quite get it when I played it last, but that was once again a very, very, very long time ago. It could be. Nowadays it's giving me sort of like Power Wash Simulator vibes, and quite frankly, I really want to get Power Wash Simulator at some point. So maybe this is a good tide me over sort of thing. Fair enough. Warsaw. Now, this one, if you remember, was included in the Ukraine bundle, so you may already own it. In fact, I'm pretty sure Chroma Squad was too. But anyway, the point is, It looks pretty good. I haven't played it yet, but I'm always a fan of tactical RPGs, turbo strategies, that sort of stuff. Looks fun. I'll do it. Yep. Wonderling, another game I haven't heard of before. Looks like another precision platformer, difficult game. Fair enough. It'll depend on what the story is like, if there is one, as to whether I'll like it or not. But if you like these sort of precision, time-based, things, and sure, you might like this one quite a lot. Second to last is the Zombie Rollers Pinball Heroes. A game that, surprisingly, despite loving Deadlick, I've never actually really heard of or seen before. Well, yeah, I see why. It was released in 2022. However, unlike the other two games released in 2022, it is very positive. So that's good. Once again, the fact it contains brand new games, pretty good. And they're not even terrible from terrible brands all the time. Like, they're not all just like no-name people. It's not bad. I do like pinball. Like, Pinball FX2 is one of my favorite, well, it's my favorite pinball game, but yeah, why not? Give it a go, I suppose, yeah. And finally, the last game is one you might recognize. It is Rings of Saturn. Now, for some reason, my Rings of Saturn videos over the last couple of days, like, I recorded all 3 of those in a short period when I last played it, like when I first got on my mountain. I really did like it. It was a little bit limited in my opinion, and by it's the fact it was very meant to be true to life. In the end, I did play a lot more. I bought a new ship, and then I sort of felt like I ran out of things to do. So I was like, I'll come back to it later. Like, there was only like 2 or so interesting looking ships, and I bought the one that looked interesting. I had all the upgrades I needed. I could basically go back and make huge sums of money with every single trip. But it is under active development. It is being released. It is coming out at some point shortly. I don't know when, but quite frankly, yeah, I like it. I will play some more of it. It's on my it's back on my list of things I want to play more of. And I plan on it. I do plan on going back. I'm pretty sure it's on my unplayed list. If it isn't, yeah, it's just, not my unplayed list. My my request list alongside Insomnia and a few other games I really need to get back to playing more of. So yeah. However, instead I'm going to play this other game I was talking about because it sounds fun. So yeah, that is the Jinglejam. Now, currently that is all that's in the Jinglejam. There are lots of games here. It should be said, sometimes games get added or removed. It should be said, in the first couple of years, what would happen would be the bundle would sell out, so like parts of it. Like, they'd only have like 50,000 one key, but 80,000 another. This time, I think they've got like 85,000 or 99,000 keys available for the Jinglejam. It is first come, first serve, so I don't know when it ends. Maybe someone else will pay for more keys. I don't know. But it is limited time. I will keep trying to pay attention to it and seeing if anything is added or removed. I will put that into my community tabs along with all the free game posting that I usually do and my owl images as they come out for different games. Obviously, there's more hints coming out tomorrow with more great little owls. It's fantastic. Yeah, it also comes with a few other things. Yogg score discount. I don't care about the Yogg's cast, so I don't really care about the Yogg store. The Fresh store. Okay, fair enough. This is probably the most important one. Make sure you redeem it, even if you don't use Fanatical. Fanatical is a weird website. It does some really good things. It does some really bad things. Like, I don't like their mystery bundles, because basically it's like, yeah, buy 5 games and you'll get stuff. And it's like, no, you won't unless you don't have any games. And if you're watching this channel, between the free games, all the bundles I highlight, I doubt you're running out of games anytime soon. But they can give you some money, which is pretty money for the games, or they can give you a random game, and sometimes they're okay. They're usually $5 to $15 worth, but quite frankly, it's okay for a free pickup. And finally, Displate, something I really need to look into more. I've always been wanting to get into Displate myself at some point, but I just haven't had the it's quite expensive. So having a 40% off discount code is not something I would scoff at if I was looking at decorating my house more, which I probably should do because my house is rather plain, really. Probably should do more. Guess all the board games don't count. Anyway, thank you for joining me, though. This has been my eruption of shame. I know I didn't have enough time to really spotlight all of these games. I hope I at least was able to spend some time talking about the highlights. If you're just coming to the very end of the video and you want to know what I'm most think is a good thing, pick up Age of Wonders. That's fun. That's good. Played Up looks great. Here comes Nico. This looks cute and adorable and fantastic. I also like the Troy Saga when I played it myself. First Class Trouble. It's Among Us, but looks quite interesting. Lost Nova looked cute. Factory Town. Oh god, right now I'm just going for everything. Planetary Accommodation looks good. A lot of these early ones look really good. Like Katara Fables even look good. Gladys looked good. It got a little bit slower down. Chaos Reborn looked okay. Chroma Squad. I love Chroma Squad. Cryo 4 looks okay. Deponia's fantastic. Epic Battle Fantasy looks good. Dude Stop looks good. Driftland is good. Fury Unleashed is great. I love Fury Unleashed, really do. Little Inferno, I love. There's so many, Plague Inc. Evolved. A lot of these games you may already own, but even the ones that you don't necessarily own, some of them are pretty good. Even just going back through the games I actually thought looked good right now is apparently leading to a much larger list than I intend to. Anyway, this has been my Eruption of Shame. This has been the Jinglejam 2022. Pick it up. I'll put the link in the description down below where you can go and grab it yourself. And then, of course, join me on Wednesday or Tuesday, your time, where we'll talk about the new Amazon games, which are out right now, and the new Humble Bundle games whenever they arrive as well. I always do love the time of the year where I get a bunch of games, and Jinglejam has helped with that. So is a series of catastrophes that lead to massive bundles on Humble. I should also say as well, let me just... Okay. Besides that, I must add here, there's a couple of good bundles if you like VR on Humble Bundle right now. And that's the only things they have at the moment, which is a little bit odd for them. So the first one was the Black Friday VR Voyagers pack. If you have not played or gotten VR yet, there are a few really good titles in here which you'll want. Sorrento's quite good. Superhot VR is amazing. Expect You Die is amazing. The Fisherman's Tale is fantastic. Wizards, I've heard good things about. Haven't played it myself. There's a few games I hadn't played before, but looked okay. I didn't end up buying this bundle, but if you've just gotten a VR headset, this is actually a really good pack. Now, it should also be said there's another VR bundle which I did buy because I only owned one of the games, Arizona Sunshine, but the rest of them, it seems like a slightly higher quality bundle than the other one, where a lot of the games are newer and a little bit more expensive. After the Fall, Cosmos is High. That's apparently by the Job Simulator guys. Fantastic company, if that's the case, which it is. So love it. Love the original Cave Digger. New one looks fantastic too. Glad to pick that up. Doom. Oh, it's Doom. Beanstalk, I don't know anything about. Vox Machina, I don't know anything about. But it looks like a good bundle is all I'm going to say, right? So it's another thing to keep an eye out for in general. Another thing, not Facebook, I don't even have Facebook. Another thing is Fanatical, which is quite, there we go. Fanatical, they just released another new Platinum Collection. Quite frankly, it feels like the Platinum Collection is getting a little bit repetitive at this point, but it does contain Oblivion, Dishonored, Doom, Children of Mortar, Frostpunk, Shadow Tactics, a bunch of really good games that you can get. I've already played most of them and owned most of them, but if you're trying to build a Steam library, it might be good to look at. These are the ones you want to avoid. These mystery bundles, always avoid them. But the Build Your Own Slayer, Build Your Own Nitra, Birthday Favorite, these are always usually okay. Yeah, that's basically where we're at the moment. There's a lot of games on sale at the moment. Because everyone knows over Christmas it's a kind of a chaotic time, and people just want to give gifts, and the gift of Jinglejam seems like a perfectly reasonable one. So, thank you for joining me today. This has been my Eruption of Shame. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.